Good morning, children. Today we are starting the past tense of the verb. It's chapter 7 in your book. This is Aprajita ma'am speaking. A very good morning to all of you. We are starting with the past tense of the verb today. Now, what is past tense? Past tense, it denotes an action that took place earlier than the present time. That is past tense. Now, we have got various parts to be learned from the past tense. Now, what is the first part? The first which we have is the simple past. Just see here when I run a video for you. The simple past. A genie whom no one liked. Then, coming up next is a teacher who comes up to you to teach you all simple past tense. Now, what is simple past tense? Just see here. Simple past tense is used to indicate an action completed in the past. Now just see here. There are two sentences. I'm going to watch Chhota Bheem tonight. Oh, that's a great movie. I watched it yesterday night. Now follow the word watched. I watched it yesterday night. This word watched is in simple past tense. Followed everybody? Now we'll be doing some fill in the blanks using past forms of the verbs given in the bracket. Number 1. Nitesh dashed to Jaipur yesterday. Go form. What will we write? Went. Raju dashed a letter to his father. The right form. What will we write? Wrote. Number 3. Kavita dashed her homework before going to bed. Complete will become completed. Number 4. Majid dashed a beautiful paper boat. Make becomes made. And number 5. The teacher dashed Poonam why she was absent the previous day. Ask becomes asked. So this is what is verbs in the past, the simple past form. Now coming up next is the past continuous tense. Now what is the past continuous tense? It tells us of an action which continued in the past. Past continuous tense, it tells us of an action that continued in the past. For example, I was dancing. I was reading. So just see here. I'll just run a video to make it clear to you. Coming up with simple past and past continuous. Okay, children? Just see here. The simple past once more. A simple past is a single completed action in the past. I traveled to Paris last month. This action started and finished in the past only. Now coming up to past continuous. What is it? Past continuous is used to talk about an action in progress in the past. I was doing my homework. This action is a long action which took place in the past. The simple past is a short action and past continuous is a long action, an action in progress. The next we have got is past perfect. Now what's past perfect? Past perfect is an action that had started in the past and had been completed there. Just see here. I had spoken. So, when I go for a video presentation there, just see. Past perfect in grammar. How to form a past perfect. When to use a past perfect. It's good to know in regular verbs also and in irregular verbs also. So coming up. Look at this sentences here. I had painted the door yellow. They had paid for dinner themselves. These sentences, they are all in past perfect tense. So how to form it? For a regular verb, we use had and the past participle form of it with an ed added to the verb. For example, you had worked late. He had cleared the table. She had placed it on the floor. For a regular verb, we had past participle and a ed form. We had walked to school and the rest. Verbs ending in e like live, close and wipe. We use had, past participle and add one d to the verb. For example, I had lived there. He had closed the window. They had wiped the floor. Verbs ending in a y. What do? It's preceded by a consonant. What's that? Y becomes I here. He had spied on his neighbors. He had studied hard. Irregular verbs. We add had and a past participle too. It's a unique past perfect form. What's that? I had built that shed with my own two hands. To build becomes built. Same way, she had bought some flowers at the market. To buy becomes bought. We had run the marathon. To run, it becomes run only. Now for regular verbs, once more, we add had and a past participle form of it, that is ed added to a verb. Had she talked to him or had you kicked the ball? They had worked on the farm. For irregular verbs, once more, we add had and past participle form. The unique past perfect form of it. Had she quit the job? So to quit becomes quit only. To drive becomes driven. Now for negation, for negative words. We add had and not to it with an ed form of the verb and past participle. For example, I hadn't listened to the news. It hadn't rained since Friday. They hadn't closed the window. Now the next is past perfect continuous tense of the. Now what is past perfect continuous tense? For example, I had been speaking. So, an action which started in the past and also continued in the past itself. I had been speaking to my friend. Now I run a video for you all to make it clear to you. Just see here. For an overview, how to form a past perfect continuous and when to use it. Just look at this sentence. I had been working a lot. It had been snowing. They are in past perfect continuous. So how to form it? Just see here. We have had been verb with ing. For example, I had been working all afternoon. You had been listening to the radio. She had been sweeping the floor. She had been spending a lot of money. It had been raining. We had been playing computer games all night. You had been searching for a supermarket. So, now verbs ending in an E form, like live, make, close, and wipe. What do? We drop E. And then I had been living there for quite some time. He had been making a lot of noise. They had been wiping the floor. And we use had and been and verb with ing for a past perfect continuous. Had she been talking about him? This is a question. Had you been playing tennis? It's a question. Now for a negation with had, not, been and ing form of the verb. For example, I hadn't been listening to the news. She hadn't been waiting for you. They hadn't been paying attention. So past perfect continuous in use. This is how we end our past tense here. Now children, coming up for your classwork. Just see here. Here's a worksheet for you where you will be completing the blanks with the correct usage of past continuous tense. Number 1. What dash when I opened the door? What were you doing? Now number 2, number 3 and number 4. You all are going to do it yourself in your class hours with the help of your teacher. The next is simple past. Just see here, I've given 2 examples. He goes to bed early. It becomes he went to bed early. We do not like onions. We did not like onions. This is a negative form. Now the rest of the sentences, you all are going to do it in your class hours with the help of your teacher. Now the past perfect tense. I saw the movie. I had seen the movie. Martha ate her dinner. Martha had eaten her dinner. Now the rest till number 8 you are going to solve it in your class with the help of your teacher. Now try on your own. What will you try? write a sentence using the past tense and write the same sentence using a past perfect tense. This is what you're going to do it yourself. Now coming up to your homework. What is your homework today? Today your homework will be, you're going to write down the definition of simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous, and you're going to write 2 examples of each. So, this much for today. Thank you, children.